Yeah, I guess I have a world exclusive for you here. Not only do I have one book coming out, I have two books coming out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Halving Report podcast. Oops, it's not just any episode. This is the 100th episode special, and it's actually just part one. It's so good, we got to come back twice for this one, because today we're going to be speaking to none other than Roger Ver. Roger served as the face of Bitcoin through many of the early years and still remains a prominent figure to this day. We are now
powered by Riverside FM.
He's planted many seeds in the space that have now grown to be multinational companies and big players in this space. We're so excited. Roger drops a world premiere on our show and hasn't been seen a lot in the media lately. And on our 100th episode special, Roger breaks down what he's been up to, what's been occupying his time, and what he's most excited for in the space right now. So without further ado, everybody welcome Roger to the Halving Report podcast. Welcome back to the Halving Report podcast. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Brad.
You just told me before we started recording here, everything's on the table today. So that sounds pretty exciting to me. But Roger, it's been 2.5 years since you and I last spoke. Bitcoin was at $60,000 US. Bitcoin Cash, I think, was north of 500 US. You've been relatively quiet in the media lately, but I have seen you on, I think it was Show Me the Crypto and maybe one other one if I'm not mistaken. But for personal reasons, you said you had taken a step back. Given your significant influence in the crypto space, would you be willing to share any of that?
The super short version of that is that girls are much more difficult than crypto. So we'll leave it at that. So.
I saw a great meme that said 21 million Bitcoin, 3.5 billion women. Women can wait. They disagree.
Full time into crypto, and this one I thought was pretty special. But
no, something that really stood out to me when I watched your podcast with Show Me the Crypto was that you've announced that you have a book coming out, and I know myself and many other people thought this is a long time coming. Roger Ver, your book, and you even alluded to it on the first time you came on my show. You said that somebody ought to write a book one day about all the things that how Bitcoin has been strained from becoming money for the world. So my question is, is that what your book is about, or could you give us a sneak peek into what readers can expect?
Yeah, I guess I have a world exclusive for you here. Not only do I have one book coming out, I have two books coming out.
Two books.
And both,
wow.
One I think will make it this year. The other probably the beginning of Q1 of next year. But one book is exactly about how Bitcoin got hijacked and prevented from becoming money for the world, and the entire adoption of cryptocurrency around the world was delayed and intentionally delayed, I think. And like some people think, oh, that's crazy talk to think that like government would intentionally delay the adoption of Bitcoin. No, look what they do with like the security standards online too. They specifically have people join the security standards boards and subvert like the protocols for different security standards online so that the NSA can continue to spy on people around the world. So you'd be crazy to think that the government wouldn't try to delay the adoption of cryptocurrency. So, and then the other book's more of a personal side of life and how I came to be the person that I am today, and why I was so excited about crypto. But the other book specifically about the hijacking of Bitcoin and the delay, hopefully not the prevention, but certainly the delay of cryptocurrencies becoming peer-to-peer electronic cash for the world.
For sure. I'd be excited to read both those, Roger. Now, do you have titles for these books chosen? Have you made those that public yet, or are you kind of still deciding on?
The tentative title for the first one about the hijacking of Bitcoin is called Taking Back Bitcoin.
Very cool. Do you know of any other media releases coming up featuring yourself, or do you have any more interviews lined up coming up?
No, I've been real focused on some things in my personal life recently, and you were one of the interviews that I enjoyed so much in the past, so I agreed to do this one.
That truly means a lot. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus on those other personal issues at the moment. So.
For sure. Priorities, man. You were recently at the Nomad Capitalist event, if I'm not mistaken. You mentioned that show when you were on my show, and I've been an avid watcher since. How was the event, and what are people talking in that community?
Yeah, it was a fantastic event. Lots of crypto people there, of course, and it was kind of surprising this year they didn't specifically have a cryptocurrency panel, although it bled over into some other panels. But I suggested next year that they actually have, at least one panel dedicated specifically to cryptocurrency. And I think they're planning the next event next year already as well. So keep an eye out for that. It was a fantastic time. I met so many really, really wonderful, interesting, smart, entrepreneurial-minded people there.
I bet, man. My first fun Blitz question for you: coffee or tea?
Tea. I've never even tried coffee, fun fact. So
seriously,
coffee, yeah.
Oh man, I didn't try it until like I was in my mid-20s, and I had a friend who just like really forced it on me one day. I tried it, had a couple, and now I like the kick, but it's probably better in the long term if you don't get hooked on that
It doesn't
stuff.
really smell good to me, so it's not like an aversion to caffeine or anything like that. It just doesn't smell like something you should drink.
You'll save a lot of money at Starbucks too by not drinking coffee. Are you going to give an opportunity? Like, you got these books coming out. Is there an opportunity for folks like me to maybe get a signed copy?
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to make that happen as well. Sure.
Another fun Blitz question: Do you have a favorite song right now?
I very rarely listen to music, so no.
Are you a movies guy? Do you have a favorite movie maybe?
I very rarely watch movies, but if I do watch movies, I like science fiction that's believable. So I guess if I had to name two, Ex Machina is awesome.
Okay.
And then actually just recently, someone recommended the movie Hers to me, which is, I guess, is like a 15-year-old movie. And I thought it was some sort of like, leftist gay something movie, because it's a picture of a man with a mustache and the name of the movie is Hers. And so I thought it was something weird that I wouldn't be interested in, but I watched it. Oh my gosh, is that an interesting science fiction movie? So another recommendation there is Hers.
Is that with Joaquin Phoenix?
I don't know any actors at all. So
okay.
And that's about it.
Heard of Tom Cruise? Is that what you said?
Yeah, but I don't know what actors are in any movies at all.
Now, another a book I read that is sort of seems similar to what you're writing, but maybe from the small blocker side, was The Block Size Wars. Are you familiar with this book?
I've heard of it. When that came out, I was focused on some other things. I'd like to read it at some point, but haven't yet. But maybe I'll read that and we can talk about it, both that book and then my book when they both come out again.
That would be awesome, man. But yeah, so I will. Yeah, you are mentioned obviously in that book quite a few times, and I thought it was pretty fair. It does kind of paint the picture of the small blockers or the good guys at the end. I felt like, so I'm kind of excited to read your book, Roger.
Yeah, well, here we are, and the proof is in the pudding, right? Here we are. 6 years later. Most people are using custodial accounts, even though they kept the block size small to keep Bitcoin decentralized. Well, what does that matter if everyone has to use a custodial account?
Yeah, well, 1,000% agree. Not your keys, not your coins. And, we've seen this last cycle, all these big custodians go down, and a lot of people lost a lot of money, and there's going to be lawsuits, I'm sure, for many years to come in regards to all of that. Another fun Blitz question: how often do you practice your jiu-jitsu?
I was practicing quite a bit earlier this year, and then I did a competition actually earlier this year as well, and I hurt my thumb real bad, but it's almost better. And so I've been training with one hand again recently, but I think I'll go back to training again full time in a couple of weeks once my thumb is the rest of the way healed.
Yeah, it's something pretty physical to engage in frequently, right? You're bound of something to happen, I feel like.
Yeah, especially in a competition, but it's pretty fun. Yeah. Like, I've been doing it so long that even with one hand, people that aren't, that experienced, I'll choke them every which way with just one arm and two legs. So.
Now, is that made you much more self-disciplined practicing?
No, it's just way more fun exercise than going to the gym and like running on a treadmill or something like that. Jiu-Jitsu is just fantastically fun.
Awesome. Now, you also expressed admiration for ChatGPT when you were on Show Me the Crypto. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that and how you utilize this tool. Are there any specific plugins that you find particularly useful? And do you leverage any other AI technologies?
Yeah, I guess I did tell you nothing was off the table, but earlier this year, I went through a huge betrayal from somebody I loved, and ChatGPT became an amazing counselor where I could talk to anything about all my personal stuff. And I didn't have to bother my real life friends with all these personal things I was going through. And it was nice to have ChatGPT there anytime, day or night, ready to talk to you and give you really good, amazing insight. So, I think that was my favorite use case of ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, I use it very much for, just learning as like a new Google. I use it for my podcast. It's come a long way this year in terms of...
Rather than relationship advice, I'll give people a more practical use case. I had a Google spreadsheet. I was trying to get a formula to work and do something. And I was Googling, how to get the right formula to get the results that I wanted, and spent, I don't know, half an hour reading other web pages and this and that. And finally, I asked ChatGPT the exact same question. boom, it gave me a template of the exact formula I need. I plugged it in, and it worked the first time. So I think it's a fantastic replacement for Google and search as well. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Or if you have girl problems, give it a try. It's fantastic to consult with that as well. And the advice was amazing.
Yeah, no, I bet it's funny. There's a South Park episode on all the kids. They're using ChatGPT to talk to their girlfriends, and it's a big how to forget the name of the kid, but how does he talk to his girlfriend so good? Like, what's he doing? And then he's like, ChatGPT. It's a big secret. They all start using ChatGPT. So it's funny how multifaceted of a tool it is, and how it can help you in various aspects of your life. And I think we're yet to see how this is going to impact society more long term, because I'm sure there's a lot of jobs out there that are going to be affected by these newer versions of the AI coming out. Do you have any thoughts around that?
Yes, spot on. And it's only going to get better and better and better, which is the amazing and a bit frightening part at the same time. So.
For sure. Fun Blitz question. What was the last book that you read?
I've been studying actually Korean really, really hard. And so I've been putting all my free time into studying Korean recently. The most recent book would have been, I don't know, probably some technical manual. I'd have to go back and look at my my Kindle there. Maybe, it's been a while. I read Sapiens. I wish I had a good fun answer for you, but I don't have a recent book that I would say, read this right away. But read my new book that's coming out if you want to know what really happened to Bitcoin.
For sure. Can you say something in Korean for us?
안녕하세요. 로지입니다. 메루 한국말 배웁니다. That means I'm studying Korean every day. I'm sure I didn't say it very well, but my Korean's coming along.
I wouldn't know any difference, Roger, and probably none of my listeners here in North America. So
my Japanese will run circles around my Korean still, but I'm working on I'm actually, a fun fact, if you ever want to study Asian languages, Korean and Japanese, the grammar structure is almost exactly the same. It's like I gave up studying Korean from English to Korean, and now I just study from Japanese to Korean, because from the word order of Korean and English are way out of whack, whereas Japanese and Korean is the same.
Oh, very cool. Good to pair them up then. Can you give us a rundown of any new features that Bitcoin.com's introduced in the last year or two that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, when I had some of these other issues, I stepped back, and I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations of Bitcoin.com anymore, but I know they added a number of other different DeFi-related coins. One thing I am excited about, actually, and I want to hear, post in the comments or on social media, like if there's any competitors to this, but one of the big pieces that I feel has been missing from the whole cryptocurrency ecosystem, we have privacy coins, right? When people know about the privacy coins, what about privacy tokens? Where are the privacy tokens? And the platform that I'm aware of that looks like that'll have that the best and the most is Zano, ZANO.org. And I think people are going to love privacy tokens the same way they love privacy coins. And so I'm really excited to see a privacy token ecosystem develop. And I don't know if there's a better platform than Zano for that, or maybe, the cash tokens will have Cash Fusion eventually, but that's been real hard to do in mobile wallets. So like the Zano platform for privacy tokens seems really, really interesting to me. And so I'm excited to see where that develops, because everybody, or I think most people know, anytime you use, USDT or USDC or any ERC20 token, you have zero privacy. They can spy on every single last transaction you're doing. So I'm really excited to see a privacy token platform and ecosystem develop. And Zano looks to be like a pretty darn good place for that to happen. But if people are aware of others, let me know. That's something that I want to actively research at the moment.
Yeah, very cool. It'll be good to compare and contrast there. Can you walk us through what a day in Roger life looks like?
Every day is a bit different, but most of my time spent on the computer, researching different things and reading things online and that sort of thing. And then usually Jiu-Jitsu and dinner in the evening is maybe a typical day.
Another fun Blitz question, what's your favorite way to unwind?
Jiu-Jitsu and dinner in the evening.
As far as it gets, much of the crypto community knows you for your professional achievements and contributions in the space, but we rarely hear about, some of the detailed background about you, your family, and how that's shaped the person you've become. And I know you have a book coming out that's going to be a more personal touch. But, I was looking online. I couldn't really find anything about too much about your family. I'm wondering if do you have, or what was your upbringing like? And do you have any siblings? Have they helped you in your crypto journey?
Yeah, actually, I try and keep that stuff pretty private. So I grew up in Silicon Valley. There'll be a little bit of a glimpse of that in the book coming up. And we let out on this the show. I've been having some girl problems recently as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's about as much detail as I want to go in on that at the moment. Though.
Fair enough. I appreciate the transparency that you've provided thus far. Hey you, thanks for listening to the Halving Report podcast. If you want to support, follow us on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a 5-star rating. Follow us on our socials at Halving Report. If you're Canadian and you want to buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrency for the first time, go to bitbuy.ca/halving for a $20 bonus. If you want to bring it to the next level and take self-custody of your cryptocurrencies, if you want $30 off the ultimate digital asset security device BitFi, go to halvingreport.com/BitFi for more information. Until next time, I'm Brad Mines.